So yeah, a narcissist, they won't be able to reach that level, so they will meet you on a mimicked level, and I think so it's not authentic. But then, you know, it comes down to a point where it's like, realistically, you're either going to continue, you know, if you know, this is why some people are aligned, some people aren't. If, you know, you're not able to continue that vibration of someone that you are in admiration of, you're going to drop innately to the level that you are aligned with. And, you know, that's just the realities of it. So if you're going to confuse yourself into believing that that is not the case, you know, and I think there's a two-punch aspect of this when it comes down to dealing with the truth of it, rather than the narcissistic illusion or the contrast illusion, or whatever you want to look at it as, the lie, is the fact that dropping to your healthy level for people is where you're supposed to be, and I think sometimes when people, you know, have, you know, lies and expectations, it's like, oh well, oh, you're not this, you're not that, you're not good enough, you should be happier, you should be sadder, this, that and the other, and they don't look at your true level, and they you know, falsify the reality of your identity or try and invalidate it because they can't meet that level themselves. So that's one aspect of it. But then there's another aspect of like not feeling that you have to perpetuate this narrative about people that don't actually align with your reality and align with what you deem appropriate and acceptable, and to kind of set those internal and, when necessary, external boundaries to be like, I don't actually agree with this, it's completely unaligned with me, in fact it's highly unacceptable, and, you know, given there is action made in my experience, because that is an action within itself, to make the truth known in itself is an action that is healthy. And a lot of people will learn when misguided from these situations, or not, as the case may be, and that's really nothing actually in your control. But what is in your control is to keep your own mental state intact and your own reality intact, especially as someone that has either worked to be in the place they're at, which many of us obviously do work on ourselves. Obviously many of us are traumatized, but it's the fact that you may actually have a lot of responsibilities that just have no room for people coming in there and trying to narcissist the fuck out of your life, if you will. Do you know what I mean? Fuck it up for whatever reason that makes no sense whatsoever in reality, or sense, logic, if you will. So yeah, like that's okay, I think, and necessary, if I may add, actually, to put people in that box actually sometimes then, and be like, either, you know, and a lot of the time it really just does come down to people's malice, intention, the materialism within people as to why that happens, rather than someone being confused. I mean, they can be confused, often are confused about many things. You know, don't get one aspect of confusing behaviour without another aspect of confusing behaviour, but it's the fact that, you know, I don't need to straighten out that confusion. I can literally just set my path of like, this is unaligned, not engaging whatsoever, not interested, way above this, you know, because I think there's a level that I try and engage with in terms of cultural standards and, you know, groupthink standards and world belief systems, which are still relevant in this astrological era, but lots of people will just bypass that. So the way that I do things is like, I will come at things from a level perspective until people prove me otherwise. That sounds a little bit like a naive perspective, but I think it does work, especially when you have healthy boundaries and systems within yourself to protect your own needs and your own level. Because the fact is, in years and years and years and years to come later, other people may have leveled up to the point where they can be like, okay, well, I actually kind of understand where that person was coming from at this point. But it's, as I say, in the now, you haven't got time for that, do you know what I mean? So that will have to, you know, not be something that is in your reality. And what is important is your reality at this point. And it's not about, and it is being engaged with your inner bitch when necessary, to be like, this is not something I have time to be bothered about. Anyway, let's talk about more shadow aspects, because I think anger is a massive one for me, and I think something I spoke about on YouTube before is this emotion of disgust, which can really put you into alignment with what was for you and what was not for you. and I really try and do that whenever I can, because I think what really links from disgust is anger. When you feel that disgust, you actually have a lot of anger connected to it as well.